Welcome adventurers to Scholars and Skeletons, a real play 5e D&D podcast where we are actually joined by three other people, one behind the scenes, and we're going to go ahead and introduce them right now. Our characters are going to be Ryan, who's playing Grimlick, Seth, who's playing Havok, and Austin, who's playing Helm. We're going to go ahead and take a quick little backstory into each of our characters, so that way you players at home know exactly who you're going to be listening to. I, of course, am your DM, Logan, so we're going to go ahead and jump right into the backstory. So we're going to start off actually over here with, or down there, however you want to see it, as Grimlick. So you are a dwarven, of dwarven descent, two parents who sheltered you as a child. And as you went through that, they were also very religious, and that kind of built up this anger inside of you. You hated how you were stuck inside of this house, worshiping the same God for years and years, to the point where you just got sick of it. At a very young age, maybe between 13 to 15 years old, you decided to run away. When you ran away, you got completely away from that religion that your parents originally taught you, joining a gang called the Brotherhood of Misfortune. You were in this brotherhood for, a couple of decades, and you ended up looking up to someone called Rorkshi. He was the youngest of the group before you joined, about 5 years older than you. And you decided to look up to him for the, I believe, decade or two that you were actually in this clan. Then, on one fateful day, while you were raiding some underdeveloped villages, there ended up being a stampede of animals. Those animals are running after you and the group, and then a tree fell over, right in the middle of this field. You all ducked behind this tree, and when you looked up, you saw your god Majir, god of fate, looking down upon you, saving your life and the group. And he tell you right after, "This is the last chance I will give you. You will worship me and obey me. I will not save your life again. The rest is fate." And from that point forward, you noticed that there was another upbringing on the inside. You knew that this was your fate all along. Majir touched you with the power of healing. When those who needed you the most, you could be there for them, saving them from near-death occasions. You took this power that you held on for so long, ever since your childhood you knew it was inside of you. You moved to a small town east of our village that this story will be taking place, called Clareshire, a place where gnomes and dwarves and other small creatures alike live in peace and harmony. You were healing those who needed help all along. You were there for them whenever they needed you, and that's exactly what you did. You ended up making a name for yourself, to the point where a man came to you one day knocking on your door of the place that you first resided. You open the door and you see a tall, muscular man with a hook in his mouth, and he wanted to talk to you about joining the Blood Bowl. The Blood Bowl has been around for centuries. Where we reside in our story is off on a little continent away from the mainland. Several miles. It's going to be about a month's journey to get to the mainland if you ever wanted to get there. But the Blood Bowl is where gladiators and knights who are selling their swords come to every year to fight in a competition to see who is number one, who is the best-selling sword that you can afford, and they get a pot of 10,000 gold. Now, originally this game started where people were killing each other left and right, but you were killing your best guards in all of the land, so they stopped that about a decade or two in. They came to you, Grimlick, so that way you could heal their characters, their people, who fight in these battles, and they also got rid of completely harmful and lethal weapons, replaced them with blunt sticks, swords, axes, things of that order. You've been the cleric of the Blood Bowl for well over 30 years now. You know the place, and you know the place where the Blood Bowl actually is. It's in the town of Eveningfall. So that's where we'll end Grimlick's backstory. We're going to jump over to Havok's. Havok, you are an interesting little goblin. One standing at 3 feet tall, about 50 pounds, You originally resided in the tunnel system of the dipshits. Your character is a sorcerer, but of the goblin type. I believe it's the Booyag Booyag. And you got this power from your father. Your father, one fateful day while working in the tunnel system, though, ended up accidentally sneezing, casting a 5th level fireball on himself, not only killing him, but everyone else in that tunnel system of 100 plus goblins. You were the only one to survive. After laughing this off, you decided to move along to, I believe, the Nug Nugs, another tribe that kind of hated the dipshits, but you were able to get past that. You were with them for a couple of years, up until the point where, wandering around one fateful day, you ran into a man called Hookmouth. He was a very interesting character to you because of his secretiveness. He wanted you to basically be his right-hand man in stealing gold and rigging the Blood Bowl so that way he can gain more money in the end. He puts bets on other characters to see who would win so that way he can gain more money for himself. But you get a cut of that profit. So every year when the Blood Bowl comes around, the richest people in town come to this game. And you know that's your perfect time to pickpocket, steal, and get some extra money from Hookmouth. Now that's Havok's character. Now we're going to move on to our noble knight, Helm. Helm, your backstory was kind of the ones of her traditional value, but your parents both being human. Well, one was your stepdad. Your mom one day went off and got with a elf man and ended up producing you.
Bastard.
Your stepfather hated you for this. Kept you, but hated you. He obviously valued your older brother Oliver much more. Well, one day, working in the fields, you decided, I'm not going to do this anymore. There's so much more to life than working in these stupid, shitty fields. And that's when you had the thought of becoming a knight, a noble knight. So you ran away. You ran away as far as you could, till you ran into a noble knight of the name Ulrich. He took you underneath his wing only because he saw something in you. Not only did he see the nobility, but he saw a piece of him. He was also a bastard child, sent in the same direction as you. Now, you squired for him for a decade, or 13 years, somewhere around there. And he ended up knighting you, correct?
Right before he died.
And on that fateful day, Ulrich did pass away. But he gave you the armor of which you wear on your back now, and the sword at your side. And you swore to uphold the values that he had and respect the crown. Now we're going to go ahead and jump into our story now. It is a sunny afternoon, one of which birds are chirping, you can hear the river streams running, and the grass is blowing in the breeze of the wind. The loud creaky wagon wheels and townspeople's feet slapping against the now drying mud and dirt roads we take place in the major city of Eveningfall, where our adventures are yet to meet, but soon fate will bring them together, and the world will never be the same again. A young, tall, muscular man enters into the city of Eveningfall, stepping into a large town and taking a deep breath of the air, smelling manure and fresh cooked food, along with some meat in the distance. Tons and tons of people are swelling through the streets, getting ready for the Blood Bowl, the once annual competition where the biggest men in all of the world come to battle it out gladiator-esque style, without the killing, to see who wins the 10,000 pot of gold and the name at the very end. Helm, you enter into the city, and as soon as you step foot in, your stomach starts to grumble a little bit. You're hungry. You've been traveling for days.
I think I ought to get me some food.
Alright, so as soon as you kind of decide, I think it's time for lunch, you actually approach the closest food place, which you go every year. And as you approach, your friend, Irvin, who is the owner of this food joint, hands you a bowl of spiced veggies and green peppers, onions, mushrooms, and a few sausages in there too, along with a jug of fresh water. So Ivan slaps you on the shoulder. He's like, "You plan on winning this year, Helm?"
Just like I do every year.
Yeah, well, if you do, you know what? If you do, you go ahead and put my name out here that you get your power from my food. I'll give it to you for free every year, as long as you do that.
Maybe I would if you maybe gave me some bread instead of these damn green things.
You don't like these green? And he reaches underneath the table and he pulls out a fresh cut of meat, slaps it on the table. He's like, "You want some meat? I got you some meat. Anything for you."
Yeah, that's more like it.
Yeah. All right. So he kind of turns away, starts cooking food for other people in line. You kind of cut ahead. He knew you. You know, you guys are friends that gives each other shit all the time. As soon as you turn around, though, you hear a boy screaming in the distance. Not screaming, but kind of yelling at the top of his lungs, trying to get people's attention. So you see actually a paper boy who's standing there with, of course, a newspaper, waving it around. He says, "Get your papers, fresh papers! Read all about how the rotten red king is taxing the dirt poor! Don't let this nasty lizard with a crusty crown ruin our birthright to our land!" So what are you going to do?
I walk up to the young man, and I take one of the papers from him, and I look at it.
Alright, he's like, "What, you gonna let this disgusting dragon reject take away our land and tax everyone to death?"
He's still your king. I'm gonna shove the paper into his chest, and I'm just gonna continue walking.
Alright, as he does that, he keeps screaming. He's like, "Get your papers! Get your papers!" And you hear behind you as you're walking away, eating your veggies and steak and drinking your water, you hear two guards approach him. And he's like, "Oi! Let me go, you bloody dragon lovers! Let me go!" As you hear his feet dragging upon him, you hear the guards yell, "You're going away for treason! You'll be dead by tomorrow morning." And then a bell rings in the distance. You know exactly what time it is. You know the exact man you have to go and see. So that's where we're going to end off Helm's intro. And at this point we hear the padding of little feet. As we look to a goblin who's running around the city, frantically, sneaking around from person to person, making sure you don't get caught. Your goblin fleet slap the mud, looking for some quick coin to grab. We see a short 3-foot green and brown goblin searching frantically for the tent that Hookmouth told you to go to. Your slicked back, greasy hair doesn't move as you run from person, feeling them up for gold as you pass. Your bone necklace jumbling as you run. As the richest people enter into evening fall, you see the gold pieces in your mind and it drives you crazy. Hookmouth told you to do a specific job, though. To switch out the blunt sword for the real one against Helm's opponent, Jargon. So you're running around, you know exactly where you have to go. There's this large tent, and you lean your ear up against it. And actually, what you hear is, "Aye, you little laddies, get out here before Buzzkill Hookmouth sees ya. He tends not to like when the champ takes his ladies." So as you're listening, you see two women walk out holding their clothes up to their chests, kind of half naked. And can you actually go ahead and you're going to make the first roll of our podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Can you give me a stealth check? So that's going to be a D20.
11.
Plus
4.
Alright, so that's what, a 15? Alright, so you move aside the tent opening and you sneak your way inside. You see Jargon there putting his clothes on. He's got just a loincloth on at this point. You hear, as you're just sneaking around from kind of bedpost to bedpost, going behind the wooden blockades that are up right now, you hear a clunk of a tankard hit atop of like a dresser. "Can't be having any more to drink. Have to fight that little weakling Helm again this year. When will that little baron leave me alone? Maybe give up the fight. Maybe I can take him out for good this year." So as you walk up, you take out the sword that you had in a bag of holding, and you grab the blunt sword that the guards gave him upon entering the city, and place the real sword down. As soon as you place the real sword down, you move your hand away. Jargon's hand swings by to pick it up, and you can see him admiring the sword, kind of looking at it. You know he's kind of out of it. He's had too much to drink. Maybe this will do it.
And grin.
And you sneak out. As soon as you leave the tent, a bell rings in the distance. So, you successfully did the job that Hookmouth asked you to do. It's time for the Blood Bowl to start.
Alright.
Grimlick. Riding in your horse carriage, you approach slowly to a rowdy town of Evening Fall. It's that time of year again. You've been doing this job for about 30 years. But you never could get quite used to the smell of the city as you enter it. A stubby, round dwarf wearing his black robes with his fashioned black beard dresses from occasion to occasion. You never usually dress this fancy, but you do it for Majir. You do it for him. You know that this is where you kind of came to in your life because of Majir.
Aye.
Sitting upon your soft, comfy carriage, driven by your good man Terrence, a little gnome, you hit some bumps on this muddy road. Kind of makes your stomach
Like jiggling?
a little upset, actually. A little worse than what it was before. You kind of get nervous around this time of year. You never know how it's going to go, but you have this feeling, this gut instinct. Something isn't quite right. So, that kind of makes you uneasy for the rest of the ride to the town. But as you start to get close, you hear small little footsteps outside. As you ride into the town, 3 small children approach your cart wearing homemade robes to kind of resemble your own. And one little kid approaches you.
Hello, children.
He's like, "It's Grimlick! It's Grimlick! Oh, mister, can we please have your autograph? I've been dying to get it every single year, but I seem to miss you."
Okay, I'm going to pat his little head and say, "Okay, little one."
Alright, and the 2 other kids, they all pull out this little... What to you is a circle wooden thing, and they hand it to you. And as you pick it up, you notice that what's on it is, it's the 3 small circles, but on the inside, it is a, what do you call them? Oh, it's a 5-pointed star. But each of the points are curved. You know this to be Tiamat's symbol, the one of which the Red King Dragonborn worships and desires to get his greed from. This kind of irks your stomach a little bit more. Makes you feel a little less comfortable, even less than you did. So you sign it.
Yes.
You give them back to the kids. The kids will start running away, and they say, "You think Tiamat will be mad at us for going to him?" The other one says, "Nah, she'll be fine. It's not like we're switching fates." And then the other one says again, "But what if the guards see this? Hart, don't be such a baby. We'll be fine." As they kind of leave your sight.
So it's treason then.
So, entering into the private Blood Bowl entrance, you kind of go off into this just little shadowed room. There's not much light, few torches here and there. But there are armed guards obviously there to make sure that you're okay. The one armed guard comes up to me. He's like, "Everything all right there, Mr. Grimlick?"
Aye, yes, sir.
All right. The other one kind of nudges you. He's like, "Hookmouth gave us word that some things have been going around here lately, especially getting ready for this Blood Bowl. So you might want to have a keen eye there.
I always do.
Don't know what's to come."
Thank you.
So they leave you to be as you kind of get down. You start praying to Majir to give you the strength and the power that you need. Just kind of get the magic flowing inside of you.
The juices.
So you you brush down your robes, you straighten your beard.
How's my belly feeling?
Your belly?
Yeah.
It's still kind of upset. You hear the bell. It's not in the distance because it's right there. You're the one ringing it. It's time for the Blood Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
So, as you hear everyone starting to enter into the Coliseum finally, Havok, actually, you approach Hookmouth. And what are you going to tell him about your mission?
It's done. It worked. Now where's my goal?
And he grabs you out of his back pocket, tosses you a bag of coin. He's like, you did a good job. Just maybe keep an eye out. I have some things going on in the background. Make sure you stay out of it. And as he kind of straightens up, he sees Helm approach him. He's like, well, Helm, are you ready for this year?
More ready than any of the other years, Hookmouth.
Well, we'll see about that. Maybe you got that power flowing through you from what, your dead knight daddy? Whatever. I just
sling the shield back over my shoulder and just kind of brush past him and continue going.
Am I still in the room?
Yeah, you're still with them.
Throw a little zap at his ass.
Alright, you feel a little
I flinch a little,
But he kind of
glance back at the small little person behind me, and just go, and just continue walking.
Okay.
Do I take any damage?
No.
Okay. Just
So I
saying.
throw wild magic.
Wait, wild magic, right?
Well, maybe you didn't actually cast a spell, it's just a little.
Okay.
So you hear the crowd start to gather up inside the Coliseum now. You can hear them really start getting riled up. It's like it is every year. You're kind of used to it. You still get a little nervous because you don't know how everything is going to go. But you kind of get the feeling that everything's about to start here real soon. First few battles go through. You pull a few guys off to the side, Grimlick, and you heal them. They're all good to go.
My healing hands.
Yeah, with your healing hands and healing words and whatever other abilities that you have.
Oh, I got them all.
And it finally comes time. You hear a loud, echoing, deep voice of Hookmouth. Now, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the fight of the night. Our crowned royal winner, Jargon, versus the farm boy Helm. And everyone's like, you hear the crowd roaring in the distance. Not really in the distance anymore. They're right there. This Coliseum isn't very big, but it fills with just such loud cheering and chanting for Jargon. You hear some people here and there chanting for you. You really do hear Irvin screaming in the distance. He's not even in the Coliseum, but he's outside. He couldn't afford to get in.
Oh.
So he's yelling in the distance, like, yeah, get him, buddy!
Is there music playing?
There's some. It's drowned out by the people screaming.
Cheers.
By the cheers. And you get ready to get in this fight with Jargon.
So I take my sword and I throw it into the ground and prepare my giant shield. And I just give a wave to all the audience.
The ladies swim.
All right.
Pick up my sword and get ready.
Alright, you hear...
I don't even flinch.
Jargon does the same thing. He tosses down his battle axe, or his sword that he has. It kind of goes into the ground a lot easier than yours did, because they handed you the blunted sword when you walked into the Coliseum. He threw his down, and it kind of like melted into the ground, metaphorically. But he threw it and it went right into the sand, and that kind of.
How far away is he from me?
He's a good 50 yards.
Do you think I'd see it, or do I need to make a perception check?
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Am I watching the fight?
Yeah, you're sitting upon your comfy
19.
seat making. All right, you definitely notice that this sword goes in a lot easier than
All right.
than what yours did. So, yeah, Jargon throws his sword, actually starts taking off his armor, and starts throwing it down he takes off his gauntlets, throws it down to the ground. He was wearing a helmet. He takes it off, and his hair just looked like it stayed there when he first put it on. It's kind of that slicked back biker hair. It's not very long. It's kind of short, but it goes back and you hear the crowd just going
So
crazy.
he's a beautiful man.
He's got some scars. He's got some scarring, though, from all the big fights that he's been in. But as you start to get ready, he, picks his sword up off the ground, and he walks towards you. You guys are now, the official thing is to put swords together and walk away, and then it's kind of starts off as a duel, but then goes into the gladiator-esque style.
Trying
And
to kill me?
and you walk up and you put your swords against each other. Go ahead and give me another perception check.
15.
Okay, you definitely notice you get this feeling. You're like, is your sword like sharpened?
So I noticed that the sword is definitely more sharpened than mine is. I'm not going to say anything, but I'm going to just make sure mentally that my defenses are up, because I know if that touches me, I'm screwed.
Okay. All right, fair enough. We'll go ahead and, for the sake of this beginning of the fight, we'll give you advantage, seeing as you kind of saw. Now, you're still gonna get hit with some sort of damage here and there, because it's still a sharp sword. Your character kind of knows that, but doesn't know exactly the extent of what's going on. But as you guys start to take your steps back, you see Hookmouth kind of standing there with his arms crossed, grinning. And you see his little pal next to him, Havok, little goblin you see every year, standing next to him, grinning, kind of behind him, kind of watching. And then you see Grimlick sitting there, and he stands up from his chair. And do you want to go ahead and start the battle? How do you want to start the battle? How do you want to tell them how do you want to tell them to start?
All right. I'm going to set off some fireworks in the air, and I yell in a booming voice, "Let the battle begin!"
Alright, so as soon as he says that, I'm not going to charge in. I'm actually going to take a step back and just get into a strong position and just bring my shield up and the sword ready and wait for him to make the first move.
Okay, so that's actually going to give you advantage when he goes in. It's either him advantage or disadvantage, or you advantage. I would imagine it's you advantage or him disadvantage because you're kind of ready up. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll. What's your armor class?
18.
Okay, you're lucky because one was a 20 and the other was an 8. So he goes and he charges at you. It's heavy footsteps hit the sand. As soon as his foot lands, there's a heavy thud and sand goes around his feet for every single step. He's a large man. You're 6'2"?
6'2".
You're 6'2". He's like 6'8". This is a big man. And he's charging at you all muscle. It actually took off his gauntlets and some of his armor, charges at you and goes and swings. But you kind of...
I sidestep and I hit it with the shield and push it off and get ready for a counterattack.
Okay, so you go and counterattack. Go ahead and roll.
15.
Okay, alright, that barely just hits his armor class because he actually took his armor off. So.
I'm actually swinging at his arms, at his exposed arms where he took the gauntlet off, so I'm just going to cut down and try to hit my sword against his arms.
Okay, so you hit your sword lands right on his skin, his muscle, and you just see it almost immediately a bruise appear. So you hit him, and it's like, it doesn't cut, it hits him, and he's obviously, his arm comes down.
Do I roll damage?
Yeah, go ahead and roll damage.
11.
Alright. Good. So... Alright. So as he's going to turn around, he's going to kind of stop dead in his tracks, and not even looking, going to throw his sword around him to go and try to hit you. So he still has disadvantage. You're kind of on the ready because you know what's coming. And he rolled another 8 and a 19. So just barely, he swings his sword and it. Are you wearing your helmet at this point?
Yeah, I'm wearing my helmet.
Okay, so you hear it go, as it slides off the end of your helmet and kind of just grazes you just a little bit.
All right, so as it grazes off the top of my helmet and his arm is up in the air, I'm gonna take the hilt of my sword and jam it up into his rib cage and just give him like the what is it called? The hilt of it just right up into his rib cage.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
That is a 21.
Yeah. It's definitely gonna hit. So go ahead.
All right. 6.
Okay.
Makes sense if you do less. I'm only hitting with the hilt.
So he visibly stumbles and he just gets upset. His entire body, you see like a light red hue to it. And at this point, you kind of stand up because you get this gut feeling where it's just like some shit's about to go down.
Now my tummy's really hurting.
I like ready my shield and I'm ready for his next attack.
So he's gonna turn and he's just gonna be full force, blow you off to the side, and come in with his left hand and like sword in his left hand. He's gonna jab and try to get kind of really in between your armor, the chainmail, the weakest point on it, and really dig it in. And that's an 18.
We'll take a break for a moment to tell you about a company that made the production of this first podcast possible. Cat Coast Creations makes customs paintings, necklaces, bracelets, rings, pens, and bar accessories using techniques of woodworking and jewelry making. If you wish to pick up a special creation for yourself, go to catcoastcreations.com or email catcoastcreations@yahoo.com.
So as he turns around, he thrusts his sword. You feel the chain around you. You thought originally, going into this game, you're like bruises, bits here and there, maybe some broken metal from these really shitty swords, but this sinks right into your skin, right underneath your rib cage. It goes a good 2-3 inches in, and you are hurting. You drop down to the ground, arm kind of tucked over underneath you, holding it, your other arm holding you up on the sand. And Jargon just looks at his sword. You look up. He's in shock. Like, you knew that he didn't mean to do this, but at the same time, he's kind of happy about it. So there's this internal conflict that you can see on his face. And the entire crowd hushes quiet. And you're going to go ahead and stand up.
Okay. I stand up. My big belly's protruding. So they stopped fighting, correct? All right. I stand up and I say, "There will be no cheating in this year's Blood Bowl!" in the loudest booming voice that I can.
I'm like on the ground and I'm like, "You stabbed me! I can't believe you stabbed me!"
And Jargon's like, I didn't... I guess that means I won. And he goes ahead and gives you a swift kick to the side to knock you over.
Wait. What? I look up and I just bolt at his
Alright, yeah,
takeoff.
so you see, as you look over, you see kind of, actually, can you two, Grimlick and Helm, can you give me, insight checks?
7.
10.
Okay, so you see kind of the look of Hookmouth as he's kind of standing over, kind of a worried look on his face, and you saw Havok take off. You hear his little footsteps against the guy. It's like as he's running across the ground. And at this point, you hear the townspeople who weren't in the Blood Bowl start screaming. Like, it's not, no one in the Coliseum is screaming, but it's kind of the people outside who's shopping around, minding their own business, and you hear yelling there's the difference between the townspeople yelling, the high-pitched screams like they're worried, and screams of battle as everyone starts to flood out of the Blood Bowl arena. So you kind of take Helm off to the side. Grimlick,
I'm able to stand up.
You can stand up. It's really hard, though, because that went right under. It barely missed some vital organs.
So I stand up, and I switch my shield to my left hand because he stabbed me in my left, right? I switch my shield over to my left arm, and I pick up my sword with my left. Or I switch my shield over to my right arm, pick up my sword with my left, and I go, "Let me go. I need to save the people."
You need healed.
We don't have time for that.
You will hurt yourself more.
People are dying.
Come with me, Helm. I can help you.
Can you do anything real fast? I need to get out there.
I'll see what I can do. I'm going to cast a quick healing hand spell on
Oh, yeah, how much damage did I take from that stab?
This is just for storyline purposes.
All right.
So, Grimlick throws his hand over where you were holding it, and you see this light do you have a color to it, or is it just a kind of a yellowish
It's
light?
like a whitish light. I just say a little prayer with my eyes closed.
Okay, so you hear him mumble a prayer as you see the light emanating from, your armor, but at the same time you can actually feel the wound itself healing up. It still hurts. You might have some problems swinging your heavier sword, or if you're going to wield your shield in the hand, it'll probably really be a big problem, so it's a good thing that you switched your hands over. And you're able to stand up kind of confidently and move outside.
I give a little stretch, and is there like a doorway going out into the rest of the village?
Yeah, it's an opening. The gate was down, but now it's opened.
Where's the guy that stabbed me? I forget his name.
Jargon.
Jargon.
He ran
Wait,
outside.
isn't Jargon the meat person?
No, it's Irvin.
Irvin, that's right. Okay. Alright, Jargon, he ran outside already?
Yeah, he's fighting. You can hear him like yelling, like battle yells.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna run out towards the people and see what's going on.
Okay. All right. So are you gonna follow him suit? Okay. So as you follow him outside, you see, and Grimlick, this is kind of, hard to actually imagine it's going on, but you see a bunch of the dwarves who are wearing the symbol of the Brotherhood on their chests. And you see them just slaughtering people, left and right, just killing. You see some of the Blood Bowl, because there's hundreds of warriors here. There's hundreds of dwarves here too. And they're all killing people left and right. Some of the gladiators who are going to fight in the Blood Bowl, who haven't gotten the chance yet, are fighting against them. The townspeople are cowering behind them. This kind of made a line between kind of like, in a war, you have the dwarves fighting the gladiators. And as they're fighting each other, you look off to your side towards Irvin's setup that he had going, and there's actually a dwarf who has his arm up, and you see a green arm hanging from it, and a little man dangling.
Oh no.
And he has a hand axe in his hand, and he's about ready to swing it at this little goblin who you know to be Havok.
How far away are they?
About 100 feet. Not too far.
I guess I just point with my sword, and I go, Grimlick, is there anything you could do?
Yeah, so real quick, I'm going to pull out my crossbow.
Okay.
And hopefully...
This cleric whips out his crossbow.
Hey, I got it all hidden away somewhere.
He pulls up a belly flap and just pulls it out.
If I can load it in time, I would like to take a shot at what is trying to...
It's one of the Brotherhood members.
Okay, so at this Brotherhood member, I'm going to take aim and attempt to hit, which...
It's plus your dex, and if you're proficient, you get the +2.
7.
That's okay. That's not gonna work.
Can I scare him at least?
But I'm gonna go ahead and roll a will check just to see if that kind of spooked him, because that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So, okay, that did spook him.
Good.
With a 5, you see this crossbow bolt fly right in between your arm that's holding that the dwarf is holding you by, which it's not very high off the ground. Maybe a few
He's
inches.
only like a foot taller than you.
Yeah. He's holding you, and you see this crossbow bolt whiz past. You hear the sound as it whips past, and it nails right into the side of Irvin's hut as the dwarf kind of freaks out. He's like, "Oh!" and he looks towards you with fright in his eyes, but Havok at the same time. You realize, like, these people just...
Oh, shit.
So, at this point, everyone roll initiative.
Oh, man.
7.
What is my initiative bonus? 0. 16.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we have Havok with a what?
I have initiative +4, 7 + 4.
11.
So 11. Helm with a
10.
and then Grimlick with a
16.
16. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and roll for this dwarf.
Not very dexterous. It's kind of hard to move with all
All right,
this
he
armor.
rolled a 19.
Same. 19?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So he takes out his other crossbow or his other hand axes. And he's actually going to take 2 swipes towards Havok. So I'm going to go ahead, roll twice against your armor class. What is it?
14.
All right, he misses both of them. So as he swings them, your dexterity is really high, isn't it?
My dex.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So as he swings it, you kind of like sidestep it. Like your legs don't even move. You just go whoosh, as you like slide backwards, and these hand axes just whiz right by you.
Can I pull his pants down as he does that?
Oh. my.
Give me a sleight of hand check.
Is it the D20?
Yeah. And then you should have sleight of hand.
It's in dexterity.
13
So +4.
+4.
Yeah. So you
17.
go ahead and you just go. As you pull his pants down, it's his heavy chainmail pants. So you pull it down, and all you see is a loincloth, and the loincloth just covers this little wanker. And the loincloth actually has a design on it, and you just see a bunch of little Brotherhood symbols, which is just,
Nice.
it's literally just a beard with a hand axe kind of covered, kind of behind it. So he has some nice
Underoos.
Might steal those.
Hopefully he takes them off first.
Okay, so that was the dwarf. Grimlick, it's actually going to be your turn.
Alright.
Grimlick, did he just pull his pants down?
I just put my hand and cover my face.
Cover your face and shoot a crossbow bolt.
Yeah, how far away am I?
He's still 100. You can get closer. Your speed is
25.
So you can get a little closer.
Let's see. Yeah, I suppose I'll just get a little closer and take another shot of my crossbow since there's
Okay.
not much else I can do. So I'll get 25 steps closer.
Okay.
Load up my crossbow. Take a shot. 9.
Okay, all right, yeah, that's gonna miss. It's gonna
Yeah.
shoot another one.
I shake my head and I'm like, what the hell is going on?
So
Looking at this dude, like, missing twice.
it's actually not gonna be your turn. So you pants this dwarf.
I look at the fat man and I go, and I just shake my head and I shoot the dwarf with my shocking grasp.
Okay.
Do you need me to read it to you?
Yeah, go ahead and read the description.
It says, lightning springs from your hand to deliver a shock to a creature you tried to touch. Make a melee spell attack against the target. You have an advantage on the attack roll if the target is wearing armor made of metal. On a hit, the target takes 1d8 lightning damage, and it can't take reactions until it starts of the next turn.
Okay. All right. Cool. So go ahead and give me that roll with the d20.
But if his metal pants are off, it would only be half.
Well, where are you grabbing? That's a good point. Where are you grabbing?
Oh, it's a natural
I'm
one.
gonna grab the cloth.
Oh no.
That's a
Are
natural
you just like
one.
grabbing
yeah.
his junk?
Yep.
I grab his
you
junk.
have advantage though, so you roll twice and take the higher.
Okay, so that was
Lucky
a 1.
man. Critical fail.
And that was a 6.
Plus 6.
So 12.
Okay. I'm gonna have to say no.
Feel something.
As you
here.
grab it, he kind of felt he felt like a little spark, but you did try to
Still
cast
grabbed his
magic.
dong?
I do have to throw out.
You still did cast magic, so actually I'm gonna go ahead and roll because you are a Booyag in the, I believe it's Volo's Guide. It actually says that these Booyag, who are sorcerers but yet goblins, every time they cast a spell is going to roll on the wild magic table.
Do you want to roll or you want me to roll?
I have the dice back here, yeah. So let's go ahead and see what you got. I have the table in front of me. That's going to be 72. Oh, so you gain resistance to all damage for the next minute.
I brush my shoulders and I just feel that power.
Okay, alright, you kind of know this feeling. You've casted magic before. This thing has happened to you before. So you know exactly the feeling that you get So yeah, all right. We're gonna go ahead and move on to Helm then.
All right, so I'm gonna sheath my sword and take out my crossbow. I'm gonna look at Grimlick and go, maybe next time you should say a prayer to your god before you fire. And I'm gonna take a shot at the dwarf that's around Havok.
Okay.
That's a 6.
Do you have anything to say to that?
I'll wait till after he takes the shot.
Alright, it's a 6.
So you shoot, and the dwarf who is unfortunately standing there with his pants down, his balls being grabbed by a little goblin. This crossbow bolt just shoots once again, whizzes right past and lands against one of the buildings.
After I take the shot, I'm gonna sling the crossbow back around, and I'm gonna start dashing towards. Or I guess I can only move my speed because I already attacked. So I'm gonna run 30 towards him.
Okay. Did you have any?
As he's running away, I'm going to say, maybe you should start praying.
Good one.
Yeah, I'm like still looking at these clowns. Like,
All right. So
Look at me, I'm not a marksman.
So this dwarf is going to try to grapple you again to kind of hold you because right now he's in a very uncomfortable position.
Maybe he likes it.
am I still holding him?
Yes, you're still holding. You're still, unfortunately, manhandling this guy. And he's going to go ahead. What's your armor class again?
14.
Okay. So he kind of, your hands are cold. So he's kind of sitting there like, ah! So that's
smaller.
So unfortunately, that's going to be his turn. And we're going to move on to Grimlick. Did you move last turn or no?
Yeah, I moved.
Okay, so you're going to move a little closer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're about 50 feet from him now.
Yeah. Let's see.
Right now we're fighting in the middle of the town.
So, with command, can you just say basic commands like movement commands, or can you like tell somebody to surrender?
I believe it might say there that it gives you a few basic words to say, like drop your weapon, like drop weapon, something like that, or like drop or walk away or something like that. If it doesn't say it there, then yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just basic commands. You can't make him hurt himself though.
Yeah, the stuff here is just like basic movements. There's nothing like surrender or like stop fighting or something like that.
Okay, did you have a specific action in mind?
I don't know. Yeah, I could just go with the movement where he grovels and just falls to the ground till the end of his next turn.
Okay, alright, so go ahead. I believe that's a wisdom saving throw that I have to make?
Yeah, you have to do a wisdom saving.
What's the DC to beat?
My 12.
12, okay. Okay, he doesn't. He lands a 6 for that one.
So he's going to go prone.
So yeah, so as, you're holding his balls, he kind of just he tries to get down, but, you're still holding him. Okay, he kind of, I don't know how this happens.
I can release him.
Okay, so you're going to let go of his balls.
I was gonna say he's close enough to the ground. You could probably still hold him as the dude fell.
So he kind of you let go of his balls as he starts moving to the ground, and he kind of gets in a fetal position, and he starts rocking back and forth just for a little bit. You don't know what happened. You kind of just all of a sudden started doing that.
I pull my dagger out. I started jabbing him.
Okay, yeah, that's your turn. So if you want to do that, go ahead.
15 plus what?
4.
4?
Okay, so yeah, you're taking your dagger out. You're just jabbing him. Where are you jabbing him?
This one?
Yeah.
Where am I stabbing him?
Yeah.
Either in the groin or in the neck. It can be back.
What is with you and this guy's groin?
4 plus 6.
4, 6, 10.
Okay, alright, so 10. Alright, so he's obviously bleeding from his groin and his neck at this point. Not in a very comfortable position, but he gets back up because he's kind of snapped out of the command. Helm.
Okay, so I ran 30 feet towards him, somewhat 70 away.
Yeah, Grimlick is still ahead of you.
Oh, man. Wait, you're ahead of me?
Yeah, because I think
he moved
the
first time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I forgot.
That's when you shot, he moved.
Yeah, okay. Dang. Well, I guess I'll do a run and a dash to move another 60, because I'm not going to use my crossbow again.
Okay. All right.
So I'm like 10 feet away now.
Alrighty. So that could because you dashed. That's gonna
I
be
can't
the end
attack.
of your turn. Okay. The dwarf is actually gonna try to retreat. So as he's actually gonna try to retreat, you do get an opportunity attack. So I just want to make sure. He landed a natural 20. So he's going to get up and start to run away. As he runs away, you can go ahead and give an opportunity attack. So his back is to you. You can do whatever you want.
Is he close enough for me to like jab him right before he takes off, or do I?
Yeah, he's kind of scrambling up, trying to get out of there.
Two-handed because my hands are small and the dagger's pretty big, and I just start pounding his bag.
Oh yes, please do that again.
And while I'm doing it, I'm looking back at these clowns, and like they're just like taking a light jog. I'm like, "Are you guys gonna help?"
Wow.
Well, you get advantage.
Man.
You get advantage.
Does he?
Yeah.
What did you get? A 1?
His back is to
You got a lot of 1s. It's either
Plus
a good
one.
roll or a
Plus
1.
4.
Yeah, I thought you got all your rolls out before
So
we
plus
started.
6. So
What?
19.
Oh, 19.
Okay, that's gonna hit. Yeah. So go ahead and roll damage. 1.
1 plus 4.
5.
5.
That's
Okay, so
crazy.
you give him a last good stab. It goes through his flubber on his back. You know, he's got
Just
those
gotta hide
bread
the
rolls on the
dexterity.
back of him. So you stab into it, and you get one last good stab in before he really like gets up. And this is the fastest you've seen a dwarf ever move. So he like takes off with his pants down. He's okay. All right, so he's not running. He's hobbling. He's not on the ground, so he's kind of like wobbling away. And everyone else is fighting. So what are
he
you?
gets away?
Yeah, he ran away. You got one last good stab, and he was bleeding pretty badly.
Just follow the trail of blood.
I really wanted that.
But where did you get? You guys want to get back into the battle? Did you want to like?
So we're right by
or-
Irvin's shop, right?
Yes.
So I look towards there to see if Irvin's there or like if he is okay
You
or
don't
whatever.
see any sign. You see
I don't
like
see
the
any.
stoves that he was cooking on are still on. He kind of like bolted out of here. You would assume. Either
And
that or
then-
something happened.
I survey the scene. Do I see anyone who is, I don't know, anyone like damsel in distress or anyone getting hurt or
There are
defenseless?
Me. Yeah.
there are a lot of
You did just fine.
there are a lot of other fighters fighting in this battle, so no one's really in major trouble. A lot of the people are starting to die. Like both sides a good amount of them are starting to die off. But you do hear like a deep, like earthy growl scream come from the middle of the arena again. So
All the way back in the middle of the arena.
there's a kind of like a big post where originally Hookmouth was standing, and a bunch of the richer people in town were up there kind of observing the area, and like the richer people, they bought these seats, so they're of course going to have the better seats in the house. So that's kind of like where you got, because it's close. Like the entrance to that staircase is right there.
Is Hookmouth there? Or is he gone?
I don't
You
know
hear,
if
well
we
that's
know.
just where you hear.
What do you think that was?
I don't know, Helm. I don't know what's going on. Maybe that little fella knows.
Who the hell are you guys?
You
as I look at Helm and I know that that's the dude I sabotaged, and I just
You are one strange little man. You are a man, right?
whatever you want me to be.
Whoa!
Well, okay, little fella. What do you know about all this chaos? Or havoc, should I say?
I'm just here to watch the blood battle.
You guys can
What do
go
you mean
ahead
the
and roll
blood-
insight checks.
Do you mean the blood bowl?
My guy's stupid.
That's
what you
true.
said?
12.
Insight check?
12.
Insight check.
12.
Where's my insight? Oh, 13.
Okay, alright, so you kind of get the feeling that, Grimlick, you get the gut feeling that he's not telling all the truth, but you can't really call him out on his BS yet because you don't really know. So yeah, you heard this earthy growl. It's up to you guys what you want to do. Do you want to hop back in the fight, run away?
Where
regroup?
do I know where my
I think-
sword is? My real sword? I don't want to keep lugging around this blunt.
You
sword.
left it back inside. Like, they kind of kept it in a keep with all the real swords in this room.
Is there any on the ground from anyone who's died?
Yeah, the dwarf dropped his... After getting manhandled, he dropped his hand axes.
Alright, I'm going to sheath my sword and pick up one of the hand axes.
Okay. Did you want to keep that sword on you?
Yeah, I'm just sheathing it.
Sword? Okay.
Yeah, just for now, whatever.
I was just gonna say, while you're doing that, I'm picking up all the arrows you fucking missed.
Pulling them out the wall.
And I hand it to him. I'm like, I missed this time. But I drop them on the ground right when you reach for them.
I have trouble getting to the ground, so I'm just gonna leave them. I think we should go check out that the noise.
I said, let's investigate.
Alright, so we're going to start moving as fast as we can towards the noise, I guess.
Okay. Alright, so you throw open, the door that was there used to be there. The door was actually torn off the hinges, it looks, or kind of chopped in. One of the two.
Was it like that before?
No. And you start running up these staircases. Who's all involved? Are all of you kind of running towards?
Yeah.
And I'm like trying.
Alright, so
you
kind of realized that you were really the only one who did something in the last battle?
I'm in the lead.
Okay, well, how does Havok feel about that?
Our speed is the same, and I'm the one who started.
Yeah, as you're starting, I'm right past you, like, I'm in charge, let's go.
so
as I'm carrying my pocket's like scraping the ground because all that gold is in my pocket.
So you start running up the steps, Havok kind of in the lead because he's a little faster. You run up these steps, and you see a Hookmouth standing there. You know, he's got an arrow or two in him. And he's bleeding. It's not fatal, but there's 2 or 3 in his armor. And you see a giant chest that's locked up. One is a kind of wooden with brass accents here and there chest that has a padlock on it. And then next to it, you see a small golden silver chest that has been thrown open. And it looks like the lock that was taken off is laying on the ground, kind of broken in half.
Do we see where the arrows had come from?
It
looks like the chest?
Hookmouth's laying right there. So if you wanted to,
I go up to him.
And he's laying there. He's like,
where's the gold?
I'm worried about the gold right now, you little bastard.
Sorry. What happened? And as he's doing, I'm like trying to I'm just feeling his body, just like seeing if he's got any gold on him.
Roll sleight of hand.
Do I see that? I'm standing right next to him. I'm gonna give him a little kick, get off of him.
Have I caught up to them yet?
Let's
16
yeah.
plus what?
I'm just a little out of breath.
Okay, roll a perception check then.
17 or 18.
What'd you roll?
19.
Okay, so
you are 20. Yeah.
Not natural.
Natural.
You kind of run your hands up his body as you go to check him. At first, you don't notice anything, but you see his hand sneak inside of his pocket. You grab a small bag of gold that he had in there. And you pocket it. That's an additional 6 gold. As you rub your hands, you see his hand go in. You're like, "Are you okay?" As he starts, and you see his hand in his pocket as he's kind of rubbling around. So, what did you want to do?
I'm just gonna kind of give him a little kick out of the way, and then kneel down next to Hookmouth. And how far away is Grimlick? Is he there?
He's there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grimlick, I think we'll need a little help over here. And then I give Hookmouth a little slap on the side where the hook isn't.
Yeah.
And then I go, "What happened?"
All right. So as he's kind of laying there with you slapped him?
Yeah, I slapped. He's dazed. He's I'm like, "Quack! What happened? What happened?"
So he's sitting there with arrows in him, bleeding out profusely. His little left hand or right hand man is just pickpocket him, and you decide to bitch slap him. And he's like, "Oh, why'd you do that?"
What happened? Why are you riddled with arrows?
I think they came from the outside. I was trying to protect the rich people, and they came from the window. They're not here. They ran away.
Yeah, well, you did a terrible job. Grimlick, what are we going to do about these wounds?
I suppose I could heal him up.
Let me try. I got this. I can heal him, I think.
Okay, little man.
I'm trying.
Okay.
I'm going to try to heal him.
Are you sure you know what you're doing?
Of course. I mean...
As he's doing that, I'm going to check out the chest that was open and see if there's anything in there and or if I see anything.
Alright, there's just a few gold pieces. You kind of got
I'm not
this
even
to
gonna
be...
pick it up.
Alright, you got this to be kind of the... this is where the 10,000 gold was stored from all the
Gotcha.
rich people.
And it's gone.
And most of it, almost all of it's gone.
I was like, I mean, you saw what I did to the dwarf. You trust me?
The door? Oh, the dwarf. That was with the dagger.
Magic.
I haven't seen it yet, but go ahead.
Okay, so what are you gonna do before you roll? What are you gonna do? What do you want to do to him?
I'm just gonna try to heal him.
With what? Do you have a
Do you
spell?
have any healing spells?
Probably not.
Okay, you can actually wait.
Here, I'll do minor illusion to make it look like I'm healing.
Are you actually doing that?
Yeah.
Okay, do I have to roll? Do I have to roll a wisdom saving throw? Does it say on there?
If you try to detect it, I'm pretty sure.
If you create an image of an object, such as a chair, muddy footprint, or a small chest, I mean, I can do that, right?
You can make
it look like it's healing. It must be no larger than a 5-foot cube. The image can't create sound, light, smell, or any other sensory effect. Physical interaction with the image reveals it to be an illusion because things can pass through it. It says the creature can determine that it is an illusion with a successful intelligence check against your spell save.